What is up, Snagaholics? It's your main man, Snaggle J, back with a brand new video today. And if at the end of the video you like what you saw, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Today on the Snaggle J Show, we are going to be taking a look at a 3-month review of this bad boy right here, the NES Classic Edition. That's right, folks. This guy has been available for a big, whopping 90 days now. And I thought it was a good idea to do a 90-day review because some people still haven't been able to get their hands on this thing. I am one of the fortunate people that was able to get one for the regular non-scalped price of $79.99 Canadian, but unfortunately, even 3 months later, Nintendo has still failed to supply enough of these to get in consumers' hands. So I'm going to tell you guys what I think about the device after 90 days. That way, when you finally do come across one, you can decide whether or not you think it's worth it. A couple of things that I talked about in the initial review, which you can watch by clicking on the card in the upper right-hand corner. I took a look initially at the graphics. Now, there are 3 different graphical options on this bad boy. There's just your standard 4x3. There is a pixel perfect mode, which basically makes it a perfect square on your screen. And there was an 8-bit CRT filter mode that kind of gave it the little scan lines like your TV in the 80s would have had. Now, to be fully honest, I've only ever used the pixel perfect or the CRT filter for the initial review. Since then, I've put all my games in the 4x3 mode. I've used them that way every single time, and I haven't even had a thought of changing it. While it is cool to include the 2 other features, I think a lot of people are just going to stick with the conventional 4x3 mode. I mean, again, all of your ROMs are upscaled to HDMI, as it is the only port on the machine. So immediately using the 4.3, everything's going to look great. So after playing Super Mario Bros. 3 on your HD television, why would you ever go back to playing it with CRT scan lines other than a simple novelty? Again, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter who say, oh, they love the CRT filter and it's great. Wonderful, that's awesome. I don't use it. I definitely would not buy this simply to use a CRT filter. If you want to do that, go pick yourself up a regular NES and just play some additional NES cartridges. One thing I and about every civilized person in the universe complained about in the initial review was the cord that came along with this thing. Yes, the cord is only 2 feet long. Now, after playing with it for 90 days, I'm a little less upset at the short cord, and I'm going to tell you why. The setup that I have over here allows the unit to be very close to where I'm sitting, but even if the unit is further away from your TV, it's worth it to have the NES box close to you and use a longer HDMI cable, because in order to go back to the GUI and pick a different game, you have to use the reset button on the console. So it actually pays to have the console close to you. Now again, the setup I use, the box is within 18 inches of me, so the short cord is not that big of a problem. I have seen there are third-party accessories available, such as wireless controllers and wireless adapters and things of that nature. I will link to some of those down in the description below, but I personally have not explored picking one of those up, so I can't say whether or not it is a good investment. For me personally, where I'm already into this thing for $80 plus tax, I'm definitely not going to be picking up any extra peripherals. But again, given my setup, it's not a problem. Now, I still have not been able to find an additional controller, so I still just have this one. That is a problem. Obviously, you want to play this thing 2 players. The extra controllers are $13.99 in Canada. I believe they're $9.99 in the US. But yeah, they're harder to find than the NES Classic itself. It's a big problem, Nintendo. I want to play 2-player games with my wife or with my kids, and I can't because I can't find an extra controller. Do you understand the words that are coming out? Of course you don't. in the initial review of the unit, I talked about the game selection. I'm not going to rehash that. Again, click the card in the upper right corner if you want to see what I had to say about the game selection. I thought it was nice. I played through a lot of the games that were on the unit. Now, obviously, the big thing that comes along with the NES Classic in recent weeks is the ability to hack it very easily using the Hack Chi program. Now, disclaimer, I have hacked my NES Classic Edition without any issues whatsoever. I will provide a link in the description down below where you can go read about the Hack Chi program and decide whether or not you want to hack your NES Classic. But I take no responsibility if you brick the thing. Mine worked, no problem. I had it 5 minutes and I had all kinds of ROMs on it. If you want to try it, go ahead, but do so at your own risk. For me, this is probably the biggest thing that has happened to the NES Classic Edition. I was pretty much done with it. I had played the games I wanted to play. I beat the games I wanted to beat. Sure, I fired it up every now and then because the kids wanted to play some Kirby's Adventure or some Star Tropics. But other than that, I personally was done with the machine. But once they came out with a very simple USB-based hack and a program that was very easy to use, that spun me right back around because now I could play any NES game that I wanted. Now, obviously, if I was reviewing the product based on just the unit itself and the way that it came, I would be like, well, you know, it's 80 bucks Canadian, 60 bucks US for a little bit of nostalgia that you're probably going to play for a bit and then be done with it. It's great for traveling. I mean, the unit is literally this big. You can throw this in your bag. You can travel with it. It's great for that. So if you're looking for something to travel with to play games, it's awesome. But for me, the base unit, the novelty had worn off. But when they hacked the unit, it turned me right back around and got me right back into playing it. I definitely recommend you pick one of these up when you can find one. And obviously I say when you can find one because you are going to be able to find one eventually. Something tells me March 4th, one day after the Switch launches and everybody's complaining that they can't find a Switch, you're going to be able to find one of these on every freaking street corner in North America. No problem. So the NES Classic Edition, 3 months in, it was a wonderful idea. It was well executed. Obviously, the biggest negatives were the short cord on the controller, which a lot of people have been able to work around. And obviously the fact that you still have a hard time getting one of these damn things. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments below what your guys' impressions of the NES Classic Edition are. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so by clicking my beautiful melon right here. And if you want to watch one of my previous videos, you can click right over here. And until next time, peace.